Okay, Grant.
Interesting.
Talk to me about control and like what that looks like. And then well, let's start there. What does control look like?
Control is what we tell ourselves that we need or that we have when it's the only thing that we want.
Mm,
Um, Control looks like anything but actual control. Um, it's interesting how much we'll lie or do things that aren't ourselves to feel like we do have control, and yet at the end of the day or at the end of that night, we know how much we're not in control of. And really, that's the big stressor. I think that's what allows a lot of people to start really losing insight or any piece of intuition or allowing instinct to take over too much. It's interesting, but yeah, control isn't that. It isn't actual feelings of what can I do externally to feel it. That's what I think.
isn't it crazy though? Because we're all, well, we know better now, but like we were all chasing control. Like I was chasing control even in my marriage, even over my children. And I'll say to people now that like now that I've leaned back and released and like surrendered, my children are actually happier, well more behaved, and I can take pride in the fact that like that wasn't all me. Like it makes me happy that that wasn't all me. I was standing in the way. Isn't
Mm,
that crazy? Because
yeah.
I was trying to control.
Well, tell me more about that. What did you see specifically that you were doing to stand in the way?
I was so awful. I mean, I was just an awful human being. It's not my proudest moments of like my life. Like this is the point when my hair was falling out. I was like really overweight and I wasn't happy internally or externally. It was probably before and or also after I lost my job and I was unhappy in my marriage. And I think that like scaling your business to $10 million or wherever you are in, your career, your entrepreneur journey or even with your family relationships, like it really was the divorce and me moving physically out of this house, which ironically now I moved back into, that allowed me to forced me to relinquish control. And so I don't wish that upon anybody to be forced into relinquish control, but it was what I felt was the best solution. And my kids and I, we talk about the 7 months we spent in this apartment with the mean neighbor upstairs and all the things. And now we're all so happy to be back together. But what I witness is my children being better human beings. And I'm like, not even kidding. They're my ex-in-laws, they're Latino, and there's people always here and they're always giving hugs. And like this is the most basic example, but my kids didn't give hugs or like say hi, even though I'm not shy, right? So I don't, they were learning things between, this is like your employees are going to learn things like that you're not saying, right? And I noticed when I moved back, like, oh my gosh, every day they hug grandma and grandpa and like, oh my gosh, they'll hug the aunt they've never met or that they haven't seen in a year and a half because now they know they're just supposed to simply say hello and goodbye. It's
Wow,
so, it warms my heart to see. And like, I'm not too proud to admit I was standing in the way.
absolutely. Wow, that's incredible. They say the kids, they're not listening to what you're doing, but they're watching how well you take care of yourself by action. So it's interesting how even if that quote, as they go, like as you said, with employees or with kids, it's not just action, it's how you're treating yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've realized many times in life that what was in a way was me the whole entire time, knowing that I was thinking to myself, like, I'm doing the best I can. Like, what else is there can I do? And
But
you know,
it doesn't focus on me.
yeah, I hear you, right? And it's interesting. I think it's a gift as a coach to be able to look at others and see um scars with deep scar tissue and then understand how to get rid of scar tissue without even seeing the scar, I think is really interesting. I think a lot of people and kids have a sense to do that once gone through it. But I think the most beautiful part about us being coaches and all the people around us, you don't have to go through all of that hell to then learn how to operate and how to really and reinvent the wheel from that. Everybody has a different sense of what that darkness means, but to be able to capture it and pitch it in a story to where you understand it, it validates all of who you are. And it allows you to really get strong, put your back up straight, like keep your chin up. It's like it's strap it on your boots kind of mentality. It's you don't have to, the discipline has to come from how you truly know who you are and where you came from and be confident with it to then move. It's nothing else in the process that will allow you to do it but that. So, and that's something now I can imagine, Kristen, what makes it so heartfelt and rewarding to be able to see those priceless moments is knowing that what would ever change that? Like you yourself, if you were the one like me, if I was in the spot and I got out of it, then I could see the glory of being able to see the grass grow because I just stepped out. I'm like, I was trying to plant and water all the grass, and here I am dumping buckets on it. Like, why aren't you going? It's like, getting overfed or underfed is going to kill the plant. Just let everybody else take over. And how rewarding is that though to sit back and go, that is a foolproof system. Like that is a lifestyle that is never going to change. It's just going to get better.
Yeah, it's so even the kids can be an analogy at this point, but like even recently, like their other extended family was all here in the backyard and like playing basketball and doing all these things. And I am just sitting amongst all of their family, like so fulfilled. I'm so happy, like with joy, watching all of these interactions, watching my children be so happy, watching my children have bonds with people that I didn't even know that they actually knew because they go and visit those people now when mommy's away, right? And so, oh my gosh, like the same is true, like the control, which is what we were talking about, right? The control that we have in our lives or that we try to force, instead of surrender, we're it's not working.
Yeah. And then ultimately you become the barrier you're trying to knock down. And it's very hard to establish boundaries when you're the barrier. So yeah, control is a mirage. It's something that we feel like we absolutely need, and it's so, easy to just force everything into our plate. But then it becomes so far lost in translation that um yeah, it becomes hard to even communicate and or understand. But I think about control as though what ultimate control is what you just said, which is it's completely surrendering and it's letting things be. Control is allowing everything to just be as they are. And it's amazing. Go ahead.
The internet,
Huh?
the internet just went out.
Did it?
What's
Did it
that?
now? Like it's out?
No, it's back.
Oh my goodness. I hate that. It's thrown. Okay, you got good. Thank you for telling me. Thank
But
you
we're
for-
here. We're here. We're here. We'll just like roll with it. The lows
Yeah.
aren't that low, the highs aren't that high. It's like we're talking about control, and I wanted to bring you back to like how does it go? Are you good? Are you good
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
So like the physical and mental, because I know
Mhm.
this is a zone of genius of yours.
Yeah, actually, there's a point I wanted to actually make, but I feel like there's a lot of ways to say it, and it's not really as important of, what it is specifically because the physical is interesting. As we know, burnout comes with a burnt engine, no matter what. And a lot of people want to fix the vehicle, like, and I'm using that as obviously an analogy to who you are and what your body is, but they want to fix the tires when really it's like pop the hood and figure it out. But that's what we do as coaches with you and for you. It's like pop the hood. Half of the time, nothing's even wrong with the engine. It's just like a fuse that's out. But it's all about what you're putting in for the gas and the oil and what you don't have to change often, but what you do have to make sure that's coming in and filling it up. That's going to last a long time to get you down that road. Also, no one, the universe can't do anything with a parked car. So you have to get up drive. So I've always seen it, and after popping the hood and understanding that this engine that got burned out, this physical in me, I have to do something that gives me back a reward, like this instant gratification that I know what I'm doing is working. So what does that mean? It means that if I'm moving intentionally and specifically with full action into it, I can activate something completely different in me in that moment that allows me to then re-engage, go back. I mean, I can go fight MMA and then go, say a bedtime story to a niece. It's like I don't have one, they both can't be the same. I have to be able to know what gives me that instant gratification comes back to the physical. And physical, what I mean is nothing specific with nutrition, because nutrition goes down rabbit holes of all kinds. I'm saying what you put in your body will always allow your body to do what you want it to. And half of the time when we don't feel good and we want to just change it immediately, it's noticing that what's harder than that is the discipline to take action in something so small that can be right this second, like right today, and not find a damn excuse to get out of it. It's like stop the noise in the head. It's like that's just the physical. Stop the noise in the head and allow yourself to actually move forward.
Yeah. You know, neuroscience proves that dopamine gets released not when we accomplish our goal, but when we simply make a decision and take one tiny little step toward our goal. So if we're
Absolutely.
talking about the fact of control, is like, how do I relinquish control in my business? How do I actually find time for myself and delegate for others? How do I take care of my mental or physical health? It isn't, oh, I have to lose 15 pounds or I have to like see a psychologist or psychiatrist to like fix my mental health, all these things. It literally is one decision and one tiny step.
Exactly. You're 100%. And we all should know that by now, but that is such a difficult it can be very difficult because it's how simple it is. And what if you could take that one step and cover all directions at one time? It's like that's the craziest thing. If I could take one step and I knew that this one step was going to impact the one bucket that's all family, then the next bucket all business and all wealth, then the next bucket all health, all physical. It's like if I knew that one step was going to benefit everything, I would much rather take 5 steps forward and watch and make sure that they're hitting all five. Then I can run at a pace that I feel comfortable at, or I just figure out the first step, and it stresses me out. I feel like it would stress anybody out. It's like, oh, I got to do one step forward to wealth, then one step forward to there. You're doing circles. It's just you're just swimming with one fin. It's all it takes is that, and that dopamine that comes in is going to feel so much different because the amount of serotonin syndrome that everybody has now because their dopamine receptors are just burnt. It's like you're feeling anxious because you're constantly not stepping in the direction, that one change, that one very small change to the because you just did the system by beginning the system. Your end is the beginning. It is alive well, and it constantly becomes that. I mean, that's the point of seasons. Shutting off clothes or repacking on clothes are what we need to stay warm. It doesn't matter. It's like things change and they hold a purpose for a reason. So you got to have the strength to let them go.
Well, also you're talking about chasing dopamine, which goes back to like chasing the highs and like also how it's so hard to let go of control because control is sometimes a high. Well, maybe always. Maybe
Yeah,
not a
it
good
is.
way, but like always a high.
It, you're right. You're 100% right. And it's so funny you say that. Control is a high. It's so interesting. You know, I always go back to ego and identity and how they're two different. Like if I'm ego shopping and I'm trying to find a high through control, then I have to match my ego to that control. If I don't, then I know for a subconscious fact, I know I got to think about it consciously. I'm going to say, I'm losing it all. Like now I lost all sense of control. Like that high comes with the caveat of if you're not burning out, then you're not going to feel it. And there's nothing rewarding, nor is there anything that's like you can't chase that past any like there comes a point where you either learn from it or you get completely gutted from it. And that's what it will do for sure. What I've found is that having and noticing that there's a lot of areas I do not have control in gives me so much more control that I can actually use as this endless stream of dopamine that just constantly comes through because I'm not looking at anybody else's reaction or validation to prove it. It's like it's wildly it's wild to be able to say I know what I can control and that is coming from what my steps look like and that's no one's going to take that away from me. No one can take that away from me. Like that's an incredible and powerful like that is empowering to a T to know that I have something that no one else can take no matter what. Because that high of having a control is that if I don't do it a certain way and I don't get that control, then screw the dopamine. I'm going to like straight down the hole, like straight burnout, straight, it's
No,
such a yeah.
I love that you say the problem here is when we're chasing control, which is a high, and we're chasing highs. And then ultimately, we're playing chess, as you like to say, with other people's reactions too.
Yeah. Well, it's when you're chasing control as a high, there's no difference to that and then just hitting roulette, on the gambling. Like there's no difference. It's like gamble whatever it's going to land on, because if you don't get that reaction, like you said, then you lost.
Right.
And
But you keep
that's
going into more control seeking
yeah, right, right.
tendencies.
Yeah, and it drives you absolutely insane. It makes you want to just like bulldog your head through a wall, because you can't grab it. It's slimy because it's slimy, but you can't grip it. You have to like forcefully just let it be. But it's interesting how, like, I always also I like saying this though too. It's like when you're most hungry for something, you usually won't get it fed. So if I want to control something as much as I possibly can, I'm usually never going to be able to actually control it. It's when I let go that it always comes back. And that's when you start living life in a completely different zone, in a different, lane, because, they also say, you don't ever bite the hand that feeds you. Well, other people are going to be able to want, or they're going to feel that need that you just dropped control. So now they have an opportunity to jump onto it and try to control you. But
Oh,
it's not our vulnerability. It's one of the biggest superpowers in the world to not care about things that you shouldn't care about, and or limit and monetize more of limit to monetize the time that you do have in your favor, is by allowing yourself to say, I can say no at any moment. I can back up. I can be in and I can be out. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna guide with my gut and my physical, my instinct that shows me every step along the way. It's like you're giving yourself trails to follow by noticing these small wins of words of confirmation that you get, because you know what you're doing feels right, so it's right. It's like that's all it is. If you're telling yourself something, or you're telling yourself something like, this doesn't feel right, but I know it is, like, and this is why it is. It's like, no, of course not. But a lot of debaters out there, and we are our best advocate, right? We'll sit there and argue and argue and argue just to try to get a point that we couldn't even control in the first place. So enough of the noise and just let it feel.
because even in business, right? I know we were talking a lot about like my personal saga here with like controlling my children and now leaning back and having such a better, healthier relationship with them and all the byproduct of that. But the same is true, obviously, in business where you've scaled your business so far and you control, and maybe you've hired or had to fire and all these pieces fall apart, right? But like when you can relinquish, and I'm not saying control of the company, but like, you know what I'm saying? The implementation, the tactical level activities that you're still doing because you think that nobody else can do it this as good as you.
Right.
That's really, tell me.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just you're exactly right. And I knew you were gonna, just because you're a genius. Like, you're a genius. You hit that. It's a fear response. That high of any kind becomes a fear response. And that is very tricky to realize. The word control and trying to find it as a high, the caveat is that it's going to be your biggest fear in the world if you don't have it. So if you know, it's like, that is scary. And that's scary in a relationship, with business and or separate. It doesn't matter. It's because if I feel like I don't have control over them or it, then it's like, oh, they can leave me at any time. Like, they don't have to work for me at any time. Like, they don't see the bigger vision at any time. It's like they always have that anytime. But guess what? You always have that anytime too. So it's the trade-off is realizing sometimes at the end of the day, we're so afraid of getting shot because we've gotten shot so many times, and in our personal relationships or in work. It's like, all I want is like, look, I got nothing on me. I got no weapons, no guns. Let me make sure you don't either. And we're good. So I, I personally am trying to say that when you want control over the outcome of what you want to be able to use other people to help you get to, that control turns into, if I don't have it, it's the biggest fear. It's what's going to ruin everything. And that's not the case whatsoever. A lot of people need to hear that. And it's a very scary thing to tap into, because everybody wants to do or spend anything to not have to face the fact that, holy shit, I need to have less control to be able to take control over me being in the way the whole entire time.
Right? So good. Because
Wow.
that's why they need coaches.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, you don't need a mirror when you have someone that genuinely loves, trusts, and sees you from the inside out. We always talk about thick skin. It's like, this process will make you numb, or it will make you have thick skin. And that's not what we do as coaches. We want inside out skin. If we're going to wear heart on our sleeve, we're going to wear it on our sleeve. Like, that is the wins that come with vulnerability that don't actually allow you to be vulnerable. It's the deadliest trait in the world. The one whoever doesn't care to lose is gonna win, and that's always the fact.
Mm, so good, Grant.
That
Anything
was
else?
really good though. I no, that was money.